teams kind of just went
Merhaba
by
arkadaşlar.
playing teams that they're supposed
Bugün
to win. They
sizlerle
won those ones. But as soon as they went to
Rocket League'in
bracket, then they
şampiyonasını
found their form. They
izliyoruz.
finally take down a BDS. They take down a Vitality as well, make it all the way through the finals, and just kind of ran out of gas, it seemed like, at that point. But Daniel had a phenomenal land playing amazing Rocket League. We saw 3 of the top 5 goals were from Daniel
Sizce
alone.
hangisi kazanacak bunlardan?
But Beast Mode is like, it feels like
Bu mu
the
yoksa
core
bu mu?
of what has come now
Bu
of this team, where
G2,
Beast Mode just
bu
has
da
been on
SSG.
fire lately as one of the top
Kim
players in the
kazanacak?
world.
Chat'e
And then
yazın.
Atomic is your open era GOAT, right? He just wins. So G2, fantastic first major. Now they just got to carry it over. They probably have already locked up Worlds because they have so many points, but they don't want to not make London. So they still got to put the foot down and win these matches.
Well, chat, let us know who you think is going to win. I see you already doing that. Get your votes in. Hashtag G2, hashtag SSG. I feel like there is a favorite in this match by every measure of the imagination. Are any of us brave enough? Or feel like we've got the extra tidbit here? No, none of us did. Okay, so what is SSG? Like you laid out what G2 does well with their their defense and then backing up with their offense gives. I mean that doesn't sound like there's a way to deal with it. That sounds like a pretty bulletproof plan.
Like it's possible. The last time they played, G2 scored 11 goals in 4 games. They just cannot let that happen. They have to keep it closer on the defensive side. Focus on that. Hope LJ and Hoxer kind of pop off as well, and they should be fine. They are very good. The pros think they're the 3rd best in NA, so they can win this.
Well, folks, let's see if they can do it. Well, G2 is the favorite on the desk. They're the favorites in chat. They're the favorites in the head-to-head. They're the favorites on the win streak in every single way. But all of that wonderful stuff is made to just come crashing down at some point, right? Space Station's going to try and make it happen right now. Space Station versus G2, round 2.
Space Station haven't won once against G2 all split, but will this be the day? If you shoot for the moon, you'll land amongst the stars, and they are facing the stars of North America in G2.
Listen, all I've heard today is it has been nothing but upsets, sweeps. Everybody is doing what is near the supposed impossible. I'm not here to count out SSG, but at the end of the day, G2, they are still them. They made it all the way to the finals of the major. They're incredible, right? Do they get taken down here? That's the question we all want to know.
That's the part, right? Can Laniel transfer to online? Is it on Laniel? I don't know. That sounds really stupid. But G2, the only people that have been able to even beat them, to hold a candle to them, is Gen G and Atomic flicking it above. 2 in the net, SSG save. But really, expect the unexpected in day 1 of Friday.
Exactly, and I think one thing I feel like is fair to say is when you have met up so many times before, eventually something has to go your way, right? You would think, and right now it is working out that way. Space Station, not 1 but 2 saves coming off that one, and here it is, finally a big clear here from Chicago. And Atomic tries to get this one over to Beast Mode. Hoxer off the ceiling, crazy little pinch there still. The read comes through, Daniel gets demoed for his efforts. Atomic up next, leaves this one for Beast Mode, but a save comes through.
Oh, and Atomic with another setup in Beast Mode gets to stand by and drive that in. And Atomic has been saying in the most recent video from G2's channel how his teammates are young, they haven't won a lot, and he has to step up as the most experienced person on the team, to be the leader, to be the person who helps drive what change, if change at all. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it. G2 with a lead.
Exactly. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it's fair to say, right? Beast Mode, Daniel, it's a long-standing duo together. They were together over on B1. They've been kind of doing their thing for a little minute here, but it's okay. On the flip side is Space Station. LJ in particular, double off the backboard here. Hoxer left that one for him. That is a glimpse of a Carmine Corp style shot.
Absolutely, and just a big win from Chicago to even get that in that position where these games are gonna be close, man. Backboard, you got a double commit out of G2. Now it's in the hands of LJ and see what he can do. Down below, he's got a friend, but now baits out the 50, and it's a chance for G2 to strike back. It's Daniel versus Hoxer in the corner. Beast Mode added to the equation. And SSG are okay for now.
And this one gets sent infield. Hawks are huge clear upfield. Daniel just long shot out, trying to give his team some room to breathe. And of course, that means it's an attempt for an SSG transition. Low boost there for LJ, still wins his 50 on this one. And Chicago's up next into the sky. And here comes Daniel. Demoed off the field. This one gets sent back. Beast Mode tries to push through. Atomic has the opportunity to do so. He clears in. 2-1 G2 back up in the lead.
Great initial effort out of LJ to even make that save, and Hawkser was right around the corner, but wasn't afforded enough seconds to help the follow-up. G2's rebounds, they find them, and they're really suffocating to play against, and that's what a lot of teams say about G2. They demand perfection out of your own play in order to take them the distance, and we'll see if SSG have been able to do that. The Dest mentioned that the score lines between them have always been 3-1 in favor of G2 throughout the split. We'll see if we're cursed with a 3-1 again.
Listen, I feel like I've been cursing everybody at this point, so you know what? There's a potential for that Space Station 3-1 if I've ever felt there was a day to have that. But here comes Beast Mode, sent off by Chicago. Daniel with a small pinch towards corner here in Chicago. Off the backboard again. G2 is still holding on to that 1-goal lead, trying to turn it into the infamous 3-1 again in game. But for now, Space Station just consistently stuck in their own half.
SSG are trying to deal with that pressure. Well, what a reset out of LJ. Beast Mode's there in time, but SSG are not afraid to try and demo G2 off this offense, and you just need to get them off your back as quickly as possible. Now G2 starting to take their boost, their resources. G2 want to keep them locked in, so they have. Daniel steps up in the midfield. He's got Atomic off the ceiling, just faking the pass. The double doesn't land, but Beast Mode does. 3-1 for G2.
This team is so nasty. I think you said the perfect word to describe them, which is suffocating. Daniel went for the double, doesn't quite land, but Beast Mode already there in the faces of SSG, ready to get the follow-up, and they do. They extend the lead up by 2. G2 Stride now sitting in fairly good positioning for these next 90 seconds or so as this one falls down. Beast Mode tries to transition this one upfield. Hawkser, the one to take it away, tries to take a shot. It's a little slow on the ground, and Daniel sends this one away.
And SSG are trying to pick up the pace, even with these ground pitches, to catch G2 off guard. And now G2 seem to have stabilized in this moment. It's awkward bounce off the wall, almost giving a shot for Chicago. Now Atomic versus LJ, they're getting mixed up, but Atomic goes up high, goes down low, collides with a few teammates, a few bodies, and somehow this doesn't squeak by. But I think SSG are quite happy with that.
Oh man, SSG are definitely happy they haven't been scored on in the last 30 seconds. They're probably a little frustrated at the amount of shots that have gone on target and just plays in general. Finally, LJ, a flick over one, but not on target means a demo for your efforts. You get sent back home by G2. 35 seconds left here in this game number 1. And I will say, I don't think SSG look bad. It's just G2 are still G2. Their style is so, like you said, suffocating to play against. You never get room to quite formulate a play of your own against them. And in that case, you have to create your own. And I haven't seen too many demos, too many bumps opening up any pathing for SSG. So what you gotta do is, like, you take the next 6 seconds with your head held high, you head into game number 2 with a new plan, hopefully, against this team. Otherwise, this is going to look like the last 3 matchups we've seen between G2 and SSG.
Well, the flawless streak continues for G2, at least in this game 1. They swept cold in their first match, and it was SSG who went the distance, right? In their first match, a game 5 versus Shopify is a good win, but it's going to be a long day for SSG if they got to keep clawing back from deficits.
Yeah, this is not the way you want to quite start out, especially against, I feel like it's fair to say there's like a little G2 SSG rival going on, especially historically. So yeah, not quite the position you want to be in. What is this, 11 shots opening for G2. The fact that Beast Mode is the one on top, I would be terrified if I was SSG right now.
Yeah, because G2 are already in great form. Yeah, and G2 are already in great form, and that's the biggest question you have on day 1s like this, is who is fully warmed up and how long were the breaks between, you know, Copenhagen to now. And G2 haven't lost a step, haven't lost a beat.
No, They literally, it is another day in the office for this squad. They went through quals like it was nothing. Then they show up here and they're like, all right, we're ready for Swiss. Let's run it back. Let's do it again. Daniel's like, I'll take a couple clips for Twitter. It's fine. Like, it's just another walk in the park for them. But SSG on the other end, it is their game to attempt to win. And I mean that very, very respectfully because they have never beat G2. At least this roster hasn't historically. I believe it was the last time, and I could be wrong, chat, you can come at me on Twitter if you want. The last time SSG as an org beat G2 was in the draw in 2023. That was the last time we saw Space Station take G2 on and win. So it's been a minute for this squad, but it's only game number 2 here in the series.
And SSG haven't missed a playoff this split, so it's like they have a great relationship with being in top 8. And G2, I think, have only missed, what, 1 final out of all the qualifiers? So if SSG can just switch things up so they don't have to face the same Gen G in quarterfinal, maybe SSG can break that curse. But for now, G2, no matter how many wins they have, their attitude never changes. Seth, you talked about their drive, their hunger to learn, and also to win. And with that kind of attitude on G2's team, I was like, they keep having close calls on me. With the attitudes on G2, this team will stay on top for a while.
Exactly. The G2 is never complacent with how many wins they have or whatever their performance looks like. But same can be said for Space Station. They're a very long-standing squad, at least, you know, Hoxer and LJ, but that addition of Chicago was massive, bringing him on in, trying to switch things up a tiny bit there, and it hasn't been too bad for them, right? They definitely are contention. I would put them in like my top 6, arguably, but you are playing a top 2 consistent top 1 team. So it's a little bit rougher on the end of SSG, but for now, this one gets popped up into the sky. 3:27 on the clock. It's a Daniel shot sent off by LJ in a demo. Tries to reset things a little bit there for G2.
And LJ's making almost every save. The issue that SSG falls into is the follow-up. And then G2 just start choking them out. Beast mode with the demo. 3-on-2 for G2. Daniel with the double save by Chicago. But Atomic is now first on it, and G2 get another swing at this. Now the pass is right next, and how does SSG break out of this? It's a pass to Chicago to make some space. 2 in front of him of G2. Collides with Daniel, and Atomic will try to get this out.
And this one floats down corner. Daniel, big clear up over to Atomic. Low on boost though. Most he can do is try and center it for Daniel, but LJ had it red. Daniel's gonna turn this one around from the ceiling, uses the reset to get another touch on it. Floater down, but Chicago, again, SSG just kind of anticipating G2 trying to work together to get around the defense, which is usually what they do. So if you have that in mind, you know that in the back of your head they're gonna work together to get around you. There's not gonna be as many solo plays that could be in the favor of SSG. And also props to SSG. The fact that this game has been scoreless is massive.
Yeah, it takes some shots to score though, but the one that SSG got is the one they converted, and that is the first lead we're gonna see in minutes.
I need a montage of how many times I've done this to multiple Rlcs teams, where I sit there and I make the call that things have been scoreless for like near 3 minutes, and then somebody scores within 2 seconds. But there you have it, SSG in the lead, just over 2 minutes to go here. This could be huge for them because you don't want to go down to match point against G2. Obviously, you don't want to have to climb your way back up from a deficit, but this could also potentially be a setup for the historic 3-1.
Oh, Atomic looking for bumps, and G2 are being stopped short, being slowed down even. Chicago has to back that thing up just to get the ball out of the nets, but G2 are the ones who have the most amount of shots, now 6-1. But you won't believe your eyes, everybody, of who actually has the goal. Hoxer, LJ in a 2v2 near the net, and G2 don't look really threatened.
No, I think, again, it comes down to confidence. They know even when they're down, it's it's still, they are still them. They do know what the game plan against SSG is, and right now it's let SSG take all the shots, find yourself a little bit of an opening, and make that huge transition, and that's what they're doing right now, right? Here comes Beast Mode headed towards net. Great save there from Hoxer. And then Hoxer gonna take it back for his own. Around Atomic, can he get the challenge of the 50 off one? No, but that was a huge double bump in net that could have been a massive threat to the G2 defense.
SSG losing possession here. They're going to see if they can win the midfield to keep that momentum going. And LJ threatens the backboard. And Daniel just gets a piece of it. And SSG are trying their best to get some insurance against a team like G2. You never know when they're going to strike Beast Mode to Atomic. And LJ makes the save near the post. And SSG trying to fire back, drain every second they can to hold on to this lead. And Chicago's missing. A 2v3 is difficult for SSG to pull off with how stifled their offense has been so far. Hoxer can't get the reset, and Chicago will slow down the counterattack from G2. But all SSG have to do is not give up a goal.
10 seconds between SSG and a win against G2. Hoxer, very low boost. He works together with Chicago to clear this one all the way up. It bounces up into the sky. Here comes LJ. Can he carry this one down? Can he kill the ball, or can he score? For now, they'll take putting the ball on the ground, but Space Station Gaming tie up the series.
Just with only registering one shot until the second half, SSG squeak out a win against G2, and it won't be perfect sweeps, it won't be a perfect day from G2, but
Back, couldn't quite get into it, and there you have it. G2 off the beginning seconds of game number 3.
G2 know how to approach these 50s, and you hear their comms video too. Like, G2 communicates so well, even under pressure. They hype each other up and they brush off the losses, and G2 can lead now with Atomic threatening the corner with another setup where him and Beast Mode have been connecting so well on that front. But here's SSG's counterattack with, well, Chicago with no boost and no one really nearby. Here's now Hoxer stepping up, but he's got, like, Beast Mode locking him up. So it's been tough for SSG to get the ball rolling with any kind of power or pace.
Yeah, they're definitely getting boxed in their own half a little bit. That could have been a massive pass there in an attempt to redirect on net, but unfortunately no connection. Beast Mode kind of paused there. I was expecting a pause to come through within the seconds. I was like, Beast Mode's not moving, and that's not normal. But early stages of game 3, that did not look bad from SSG, despite the early goal from G2. That didn't look too rough.
Yeah, kind of reminiscent of a lot of the games we've seen so far, with G2's offense being the one that looks like it dominates at the start, which you got that feeling in game 2 when they were like up 5 shots to nothing. But then one counterattack is the one that ruled them all, where SSG got the one goal and then ended up winning the game off of that. So you really can't count out SSG until they know how to break out of their half. But you pointed out they are getting locked in on that side. So SSG, is it demos? Is it bumps? What is it going to take? Sometimes it's those quick passes that catch G2 off guard, and that's how SSG can quickly retaliate before G2 get back.
Exactly. A ton of creativity is what it takes to thread the needle of the G2 defense. And I am looking off to the side, guys. It was a little bit of a controller disconnect there from Beast Mode, but he should be back and ready to go here in a few moments' time. Ready to just get back on and basically be a brick wall, because you can't do that if your controller is DC. So we're gonna get back into this one. Nothing should be taken away from it. But I don't know. Who knows at this point? If you just are tuning in, though, game number 1 went 3-1 with a G2 win, which I don't want to sit here and say is obvious, but definitely is normal.
And what did you think about the SSG Shopify Rebellion match going to 5? Is that a scoreline you expected?
I definitely expected it a little bit. I probably would have predicted 3-1 though for SSG in their first series of the day, so I am a little bit shocked it went all the way to 5 against Shopify Rebellion, but I have been hearing that Shop is doing pretty good this qualifier, but same can be said for SSG as they try to take a couple early shots here and respond to that early G2 goal.
Yeah, G2 getting iced out after having that pause happen on a great push right off the rip. Now some wins on G2's side, but no, okay, falling back for boost, giving some space and time for Chicago, but now brings it right to the corner, right where G2 is, so they're easily able to rob possession back in their favor as Atomic is playing with the bounce, and SSG get on top of the ball before any play could really develop. Now Atomic with the demo gives a 3-on-2 for G2. Now this is a floater where Atomic attacks at first, where Chicago was late to it. It's not like a threatening play quite yet, but it's G2 just getting closer and closer to a setup they can work with.
It feels super weird to say that these have not been the cleanest touches from Daniel, and now SSG just trying to take advantage of that, but it's gonna be few and far in between with opportunities like that. Beast Mode just bumping and pushing his way all the way through, attempting to get into the net, but even that is not enough to get in right now. Atomic's up next. This one almost got taken away, and here comes Hoxer. Half a tank to work with, 1v1 on Daniel, slows things down. Beast Mode behind, though, with the save.
Yeah, you caught the early jump and thought you could just... or definitely, yeah, go for the bump and score off of him, and then backup came in time. And G2 know when to call for that. SSG have lost possession, but Chicago with a great catch has Hoxer to his right, but as he lands, it's G2 that will harass you and just be so physical all the time that you don't really have a lot of freedom to control the ball if you're SSG, and a little close in front of the net. But now Hoxer tries to send it away. Midfield though for G2 with Atomic bumping people around, maybe opening up the net depending on if he hits Hoxer, but he makes the save in time.
And this one's gonna float around Chicago, no boost, tries to clear up the old. And even LJ low on boost, but they are slowly inching towards that G2 net. I think G2 is aware of it. They're gonna play the high game on this one. Beast Mode, pop into the sky. LJ off the backboard. Just try and catch this one and slow it down a little bit. Challenge onto Daniel. This one clears center, and here comes Atomic. Finally, another play here for G2. Can't get past 2 defenders off that one, though.
Beast Mode made an attempt to create that gap for them. Now Beast Mode with a double off the corner, and Atomic to Daniel, and oh, it's not on target. The defenders weren't there, and it was open. But G2 are still happy, right? It's a lead by 1-0, and SSG, oh, they fire back. Atomic ready in the net. But here's Chicago with a rebound, 3-on-2 for SSG. The pinch down low that Daniel tries to escort out, but Hoxer robs him of that. LJ seeing the dives out of G2, try and keep this play going for SSG. LJ with an attempted double, and even Hoxer down low. SSG are trying everything they can, throwing everything but the kitchen sink with the equalizer in SSG's path. Demo after demo, SSG have the man advantage but can't convert.
What's insane is all 3 players on G2's stride had near no boost at one point, and we're still making the save, still had that backboard covered. This is a huge clear, finally breathing room for G2, but how long is it going to last? Chicago up into the sky. Here comes Daniel, just wants to clear this one out of the vicinity at that point. Now Jay's going to race back. Beast Mode and Daniel going to try and turn this into a quick 2v1. Daniel prepping off the ceiling, reset past one, past the midfield line. Chicago there to clear. 5 seconds left. It's a shot on target, and it's a Beast Mode save. That one goes back, and this one's going to hit the ground. G2 take game number 2.
What a defense out of these guys. Like, SSG definitely had a more productive offense this time. 5 shots, but just overall able to deny this relentless offense out of G2, at least after the pause was done and whatnot. And SSG not being able to score is crazy to me, especially commend Beast Mode at the end, who came from the cross and even kicked it out, so SSG couldn't ramp up in the last few seconds. But a lot of low-scoring games here too.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that was to be expected, especially it's a matchup between G2 and Space Station. You've faced off so many times, you know each other fairly well, and especially a team like G2, you're gonna have a million plans set and ready to go against a team like Space Station, right? And the moment SSG really figured G2 out, they came back with a game plan. They already knew how to go and correct what had gone wrong in previous match. And now they're sitting on match point, and they are attempting to turn this into their 4th 3-1 win on SSG.
Well, SSG have been in a similar position before. They were also looking at a 2-1 series deficit against Shopify Rebellion, staring down the barrel of match point before they came back, forced the game 5, and SSG won. So they have the confidence to fight back. G2, they seem like an unbeatable team in the realm of North America, but SSG have been on the rise. They're aiming for the moon, as I said. For now, SSG's defense being tested. Hawkster in the corner being challenged here by Atomic. Hawkster gets past it, now overwhelmed by Daniel. G2 is constantly forcing these 50s, and sometimes they win, and even if they don't, the pace is so slowed down on SSG's offense.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think pace of play is going to be massive, and especially in this last game here, because SSG has done a pretty decent job of keeping up with G2, especially at the moments where G2 decide to ramp things up and get a little bit more aggressive in terms of bumps and plays like that. And I don't know, SSG just, they've been responding fairly well to it, but for now, it's kind of a little bit of a start over, right? Nobody's scored yet in this first minute, which could be a good sign if you're SSG, but what is terrifying is if Daniel is trying to go for bump plays this early on.
And even Atomic was pre-jumping, but Daniel said, I got it. But then he threw the ball right at 3 defenders of SSG. But man, if you got Atomic pre-jumping, it gets everyone from SSG.
Arkadaşlar ben döndüğümü ölmeye gidiyorum. Marketten değil. Canınız çekmiş olabilir ama bana ne şaka şaka. Tamam. Siz de yiyin. Evet. Tamam. Geliyorum. Geliyorum. siz boş verin. Benim kardeşim var. Bilmiyorsanız söyleyeyim. Arkadaşlar, o gelen ağlama sesini boş verin siz. Çünkü benim kardeşim var, siz bilmiyorsunuz diye söylemiş olayım. Artık biliyorsunuz. Benim kardeşim var arkadaşlar. Hani video çekiyorum ya ben. İşte oraya gittim. Kardeşim de hemen oradan gitti, kapıyı açtı. Geldi buraya. Ben de onu durdurmaya çalıştım. Yorumlara ha rezil oldu falan yazmayın. Lütfen. Yoksa yorumları kapatırım ha. Yorumlara bakabiliyorum, biliyorsunuz değil mi? Değil mi? Değil mi? Arkadaşlar sonra onu durdurmaya çalıştım. Durdurmaya çalışırken yere düştü. Acıdı herhalde. Neyse.
Daniel's attention to the back wall until Atomic just disrupts the play before it even generates. Now less than 40 seconds, and SSG are building up the bricks to maybe that lead that they so desperately need against this team. Chicago with the demo will stop G2 from retaliating for the moment. Awkward jump from LJ, but Hawkster has a...
Şunu da açayım, öyle izleyeyim. Allah, açamıyorum. Aldım. Arkadaşlar babamı diyeyim.
Between G2 and SSG. Off the kickoff is Beast Mode. This one headed wide towards Net and Hawkster. Looking to slow things down as Atomic goes for the challenge. Wins it off one, wins it off two, and Beast Mode with a shot. Does he have the space for a double? No, but a demo opens up the opportunity for Daniel to go. Leaves this one to float down to Atomic, but a small clear slows things down enough for SSG to stay alive.
And SSG a band-aid on a sinking boat, but it's not the amount of shots, it's the quality of them. But when Beast Mode just gets to escort the ball around, SSG gotta force the issue. Now LJ against Daniel. Patience, zero boost though. LJ needs help. And Daniel is looking free. Hawkster can't make the save! G2 take the series!
You asked if Daniel could compute till Daniel online, and he can. He is him off the back of his car. Hawkster just not in a position to make the save, and G2 have done it not once, not twice, not three times, but taken down SSG 3-1, now 4 times in the head-to-head.
SSG can't break their curse. Can't break the 3-1 curse against G2. They can't. We'll see if they'll break the quarterfinal curse if they even make top 8. I know that's a long ways away, but this is a long day with just so many matches going on. But excited to see that G2 haven't lost the firepower that they had from Copenhagen. They're not just land boys. They're just all around the guys.
Oh, they're incredible. I mean, what they lost one event last split, so there's no slowing down, especially after the performance that they had over in Copenhagen. I wouldn't have expected anything less from this squad, but huge props to Space Station. You kept that one close. You did the best that you could. LJ tried his hardest, but for now, I think we've got more matches underway. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, there's more matches because we somehow keep picking the quick ones because we could just give you guys an update here in a second, but someone who's better suited for this, let's go check in with Wave and the boys.
It's all right. That's all we're doing over here. All right, we both changed.
Yeah, we did.
Wait,
I definitely
did you
changed.
Put the shirt on backwards?
This is definitely not the same shirt. Definitely not.
No, it is the same shirt. It is.
But you changed too, so it ruined it. It just. Now I'm gonna have to find my shirt.
I went and put on a different shirt. I did the normal thing. Not my fault. I don't know. Let's talk about the actual days, actual games. What's happening here? Snowmen sweep Canada. I'll have to think about it every time here. It was a 3-2, 5-2, 2-1, all in Snowman's favor. One overtime in there. Gen G sweep Moist. Every game at least 2 goals. Game 1 was 6-1, a very dominant one-sided affair there. Luminosity right now is in game 4, I believe, against TSM, or they're maybe just finishing game 3. And we have also game 5 M80 versus OG right now. M80 leading 1-0 with half the game left to go in that series. So a lot of other sweeps though. Energy sweep Cheers, Cloud9 sweep Deleted, Shopify sweep Cold. We had like so few sweeps in the first round, Gibbs.
Yeah.
And like all sweeps here in round 2.
It's a little quicker this time around, but Energy, just quick note, like Aqua is back. So he did play in that match. So that is why Energy got the 3-0. They are expected to be a challenger every single qualifier for a top 8 spot. So that's good news for Energy fans out there. So see how that plays out. But for the most part, like I think the Snowmen win. Yes, it's 3-0, but like when you look at the beginning of the day, if they played each other, I probably would have Snowmen win that 3-1 anyway. So kudos to them though, going into that 2-0 round. Now they get 3 chances to make it. And I know it's not, so it sounds easier than it is because you're going to play very tough competition, but we are going to go into the highlights here of G2 Space Station. And unfortunately for Space Station Stacks, it happened again, a 3-1.
Yeah, it happened again to SSG. I mean, they can't break this. It's unbelievable how it happens to this team every single time. And look, G2 is as advertised, right? It's like they look a little bit human. They shake off the rust in the first round, and then all of a sudden, yep, Daniel is Daniel again. Beast Mode is great as advertised, and G2 still the best team in North America until somebody convinces us otherwise, and it ain't gonna happen today.
Yeah, the defense of G2 with a low boost was just insane, but they've always done that. And then Daniel just makes one move, and there you go. Puts it home, wins it in game 4.
Gets that one there. So with that win, there is now 2 matches left to be played. OG versus M80 are in game 5, tied up 1 apiece with 45 seconds left. The other match that's happening on your screen now, Luminosity versus TSM. Luminosity took games 2 and 3 right now. They're trying to spaceman sweep here, and they now lead here in game 4.
That's big for Luminosity because obviously the beginning of today was not great. They then lose game 1. You expect, this could be a problem. Because teams, that does happen at times when you're just down in the dumps and it just keeps getting worse. And there's just more dirt on the pile and you just can't get out. But Luminosity did battle back. Big game 2 and 3 win. So Luminosity, they're not huge favorites in this match between these two teams normally. Like, it's close because the top 8 is so close outside of the top 2. So G2 and Gen G. But Luminosity, they did just go to the major. A lot of people were like, did they deserve it? And that was a question, but they showed up there and they performed. So people were expecting maybe that going into the new open qualifiers, qualifier 4, that they would continue that. But you forget that Rlcs for the past 2 years only comes out of Swiss 3-2. That's the only time he ever comes out. So maybe that's just what's going on here.
He's in his element. He's trying to make that happen again. OG versus M80 in overtime in game 5 now.
Oh, wow. That's a big
We were talking about the 2-0 teams and how they have 3 chances to qualify for the playoffs, and the same works in reverse, right? I mean, you drop down to 0-2. We saw OG do this, the same thing, where you drop down 0-2. You still get 3 that you absolutely have to win, but you still have some life. And I look at teams like Cold, who there's always a hard luck loser in the 0-2, and for this day, it's them. I mean, they've had, I think, 4 of their games have been 1-goal games against G2 and Shopify Rebellion, who I still do rate pretty highly, that Rebellion squad. So, if there were ever a team that is down there in that 0-2 bracket, there you go, yeah, they could probably pull it off. It'll be the loser of this series here, and I think Cold could actually still stay alive and potentially make a run at the top 8.
33 seconds into overtime, M80 put on a great aerial passing play that makes the defense panic, blows the goals open, the doors wide open for their third man to score it. So M80 perfect still in Swiss.
Oof. And M80, they were up 2-0 in that series. OG battled back to force that game 5, and as we see here, TSM tying it up as well in game 4. But OG did the waste in time sweep, where they go down 2-0, they battle all the way back, and then they falter. Yep. And it was in overtime, so it's like the perfect waste in time sweep. But for game differential purposes, that will help OG. And again, M80, man, it's something about Swiss. They are so incredibly good at it. They've only had one time where they were not perfect in Swiss. That was qualifier 3, where they actually went 3-2. So, and they lost to OG, I believe, as well there. So M80 is trying to right those wrongs, but they know that their big challenge is that quarterfinal match if they get there. So we'll see.
Hey, you know what? They're the best team in the world on Fridays. So by God, if they make the major, there's one day you know they're not going to get knocked out of this stupid thing. They'll at least get to play in front of the crowd because they'll just go undefeated on Friday.
They're the best.
When Saturday rolls around, that they are in shambles.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like they're the best high school quarterback. Then when it comes to college games, they don't show up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just don't do it.
And they literally don't. They don't even get drafted.
Yeah.
Never even make it Sunday. Yeah. I would actually love it if someone could do the math for us and go back and scrape through the data and figure out which match so far has been the greatest waste of time. Which best of 7 failed reverse sweep had the most in-game time, like most amount of overtime, basically. Figure out which team spent the longest to not win.
You talking like all time? Because version 1.
The version. Wait, which match was this?
Well, no, just any match they ever played. It seemed like they were always going to overtime, whether they win or lose.
Yeah, no, I'm looking for a specific match.
Or my favorite is the Corelli and League play always cast in TSM in Europe, and I feel like he thought that was a waste of time just in general. Magic, man, what a shot here. TSM obviously a brand new team now over on the NA side. A lot of orgs hopping over to NA, but Magic Bear, look at this double tap. Oh, so hard to read. Oh, it's like off the curve there, the waterfall shot. But Magic Bear, we saw him in the top 10. He's going to be in the top 3 again here.
And interference as well. Yeah, he had company up there in the air.
Listen, you know who'd be really excited to see this TSM in the top 8? Jorby. Because I'm pretty sure the last time he casted TSM, it was the European TSM, and that match was an absolute train wreck.
Poor European TSM just getting
they'll catch all the strays, and deservedly so.
Sorry.
Nice fake.
Okay. Luminosity trying to close this out. Let's see if there's one last push by TSM. Oh, it's turned away. Infield pass. Yeah, it looks like
nice.
Might be it.
All game.
There we go. There we go. Luminosity bouncing back after the round 1 loss to Netherlands, Canada. Well, it'll roll off the tongue one of these times. We'll get there.
That's gonna do it though, right? The whole round is over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, really quickly. Spoilers: G2 versus M80 in the 2-0 round. Gen G versus Snowman. Snowman, obviously the odd man out there, but who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen now? So Snowman might shock the world.
It would be incredible. That'd be amazing. Folks, we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have those 2-0 rounds as well as the 1-on-1s and 0-2 matches. We'll get you all up to date. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Rocket League Championship.
At Ally, we're helping millions save more for the things that matter most to them. Whatever you're saving for, we're all better off with an Ally.
Get back to work.
Arkadaşlar hadi bay bay. Ben bunu durduruyorum. London Major. Arkadaşlar gerçek ortam burası. Neyse reklam çıktı. Bu ne?
ฉันอยู่ที่ประตู6สวมเสื้อสีเทา
ได้ครับ เดี๋ยวผมมารับไป2 นาที I'll pick you up in 2 minutes.
Şimdi bir yenilik yap, eski telefonunu Galaxy AI ile yenile. Yeni Galaxy S24 serisinin lansmana özel 8.000 liraya varan ek takas desteğiyle sahip ol.
Ya reklamlar bitmiyor.
Red Bull kanatlandırır.
Hayır.
Aradığın güç içinde.
Reklamlar
Supredin
bitmiyor,
her
ben
gün yanında.
kapatıyorum ya.
Supredin Focus, multivitamin, mineral, ginseng ve zeytin polifenolü içerir. Hayat seni zorladığında duracak mısın? Yoksa Supredin, durma, devam et.
Bu ne? Hadi bay bay. Yayını durduruyorum. Yayına like atanlar ve kanala abone olanların Allah iyiliğini versin bir kere. Bu yüzden like atmayı ve kanala abone olmayı unutmayın. Hadi bay bay. Yarın sabah bu devam ederse ve babam izin verirse çekeceğim yayın. Hadi bay bay. Like attınız değil mi? Abone oldunuz değil mi? He? Yorumlar yazın evet diye. Bakacağım ha yorumlara.